Have you ever sat at a table with the people you love most in the world? People you've known your entire life and felt a silence so profound it was louder than all their laughter combined? It's a strange and quiet heartbreak. You're there, smiling, passing the salt, nodding along to the old stories. But an invisible wall of glass has descended between you and them. You can see them clearly, hear their voices, but you can't reach them, and they can't reach you. It's not because of an argument or a disagreement. Nothing has been said. In fact, that's the problem. The most important things happening inside of you can no longer be said, because the language you now speak is one they don't understand. This is the first cold shock of a true transformation. It doesn't arrive with a thunderclap. It arrives with a silent, awkward pause at the dinner table. It's the moment you realize that in the process of finding yourself, you may have begun to lose them. We are sold a very specific story about growth. We're told that if we work on ourselves, if we heal our wounds, if we become more authentic and aware, our lives will blossom. Our relationships will deepen. We will connect with others on a more meaningful level. And while that can be the ultimate outcome, it's a lie of omission. It leaves out the brutal, lonely, and confusing chapter in the middle. The chapter where you become more whole, only to feel more isolated. The more light you let into your own being, the more it seems to highlight the distance between you and everyone who is still comfortable in the shadows. It's a devastating paradox. You're doing the work, you're facing your demons, you're becoming a more honest, more grounded version of yourself. And your reward? An invisible quarantine. To understand why this happens, you have to look at the architecture of our connections. Think about it. Our relationships, all of them, from our families to our closest friends, are built on a foundation of unspoken agreements. These aren't contracts. They are silent, shared understandings about how reality works. We agree on what's important. We agree on what to fear. We agree on what's funny. We agree on how to spend a Saturday night. We agree on what a successful life looks like. These shared agreements are like invisible threads that weave us together, creating a tapestry of a shared world. It's comfortable. It's predictable. It's home. But when you begin to truly transform, you are not just changing your habits or your opinions. You are fundamentally rewriting your entire book of agreements. Your agreement about what's important might shift from career success to inner peace. Your agreement about what to fear might shift from public speaking to living an unlived life. Suddenly, the old threads connecting you to others become strained. They don't hold the same tension. When your friend complains about their boss for the 100th time, you used to connect with them through the shared agreement that bosses are frustrating. Now, you see a pattern of victimhood they aren't ready to break. You don't judge them, but you can no longer participate in the agreement. The connecting thread goes limp. You try to talk about a recent insight, a moment of profound clarity you experienced, and you're met with a blank stare. It's not that they don't care. It's that this information has no place to land in their reality. There is no port for that cable. Imagine that your consciousness, your very being, is a device with a series of ports for connection. For years, you had a shared anxiety port, a weekend gossip port, a complain about politics port. Your friends and family have the corresponding cables, and they've been plugging in for years, creating a stable and reliable network. But your inner work has changed your hardware. You've closed those old ports. They've been replaced. Now you have a gratitude for simple things port, an acceptance of what is port, and a curiosity about the nature of reality port. So when your loved ones show up with their old familiar cables, they try to plug in, and nothing fits. There's a quiet, frustrating clink of metal on plastic. No connection, no energy transfer, just a mutual sense of confusion. They think you're broken, distant, or have become strange, and you feel utterly, completely alone, holding a set of new connection points, wondering if anyone else in the world has the right cables. This loneliness is not a sign that you've done something wrong. It's a sign that you've done something real. You have broken the unspoken treaty with a reality that no longer serves you. You have walked away from a set of agreements that kept you small, even if they also kept you company. The silence you experience isn't an absence of love. It's the sound of old structures becoming obsolete. The wall of glass is real. It's the shimmering boundary between two different worlds, two different sets of rules for reality. And for a while, you may be the sole resident of your new world. It's terrifying, but it's also the first sign that your transformation is not just an idea in your head, but a tangible shift in the very fabric of how you connect to everything. You have changed the fundamental way you interface with the world. And the world, the old world, simply doesn't know what to do with you anymore. The initial pain of this is profound. It feels like a rejection. It feels like you're being punished for your growth. But what's really happening is a decoupling, a necessary unplugging from a network that ran on outdated principles. Before you can connect to a new network, one that operates on a different, clearer set of principles, you must first be willing to be completely disconnected. You have to endure the silence. You have to get comfortable with the emptiness, because that emptiness is not an end, it is a beginning. It is the clean, empty space where something new is about to be built. It's the waiting room for a new kind of connection, one you couldn't have even imagined when you were still plugged into the old world, laughing at the same old jokes, feeling the same old fears, and wondering why you always felt like something was missing. The wall you can't explain is a symptom of your courage. It is the evidence that you have chosen a different path. It's the lonely echo that confirms you are finally listening to your own true sound, even if no one else can hear it yet. You are not becoming a stranger to them. You are, for the very first time, becoming yourself. And that self requires a new world of connections that is slowly, quietly, and invisibly making its way toward you, drawn in by the very changes that are causing the old world to fall away. The quiet moments at the dinner table are not a failure. They are the sound of your old life gracefully, if painfully, making its exit. By the way, our shared space of light and awareness is on its way to 100,000 people. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and brings this moment closer. So you find yourself standing in this quiet, empty space, the echoes of your old life fading behind you. The initial shock gives way to a profound and unsettling emptiness. The temptation is to panic, to scramble back to the familiar, to try and force the old cables into your new ports, to pretend you still understand the old language. We have been taught to fear emptiness, to see it as a failure, a void, a lack of something. But from the perspective of how reality is built, this emptiness is one of the most powerful and necessary tools for change. It is not a punishment. It is a gift. It's the quiet room that reality provides you, so you can finally, for the first time, hear yourself think without the constant background noise of other people's expectations, beliefs, and agreements. Think of it like a field that has been farmed for generations with the same crop. The soil is depleted, tired. To grow something new, something truly nourishing, you can't just throw new seeds on top. You must first let the field lie fallow. You have to clear it, pull out the old roots, and let it rest. This period of emptiness is that fallow season for your soul. It looks unproductive from the outside. It feels lonely. But beneath the surface, a quiet restoration is happening. The space is being consecrated for what comes next. This is when you stop seeing loneliness as a problem to be solved and start seeing it as a space to be inhabited. It's the difference between staring at your phone in an empty house, desperately scrolling for a connection, and putting the phone down to simply listen to the sound of the house itself. In the silence, you begin to notice things. You notice the way the light hits the floor in the afternoon. You notice the subtle patterns of your own thoughts. You start to untangle your own voice from the voices of your parents, your friends, your culture. This is the work that can only be done alone. The emptiness isn't empty at all. It's filled with you. It's a sacred workshop where you are rebuilding your own inner world, piece by piece, without anyone else's blueprints. It is the gestation period for your new self. And any attempt to rush it, to fill the void prematurely, is like pulling a plant up to see if it's growing. You only disturb the delicate process that must happen in the dark, in the quiet, in the solitude. So how are new connections formed from within this space? It works by a principle as simple and as mysterious as magnetism. Everything in reality has a certain resonance, a signature. When your inner nature changes, your entire energetic signature changes with it. Imagine you spent your whole life as a piece of iron, attracting other pieces of iron. It was easy, predictable. Your transformation, however, has fundamentally changed your inner composition. You are no longer iron. Perhaps you are now a quartz crystal. The old pieces of iron no longer stick to you. There is no charge, no pull, no connection. They simply slide off. This is not a malicious rejection. It's physics. Your properties have changed. Now, as a quartz crystal, you send out a completely different signal into the world. It's a signal that iron cannot even detect, but other quartz crystals can. So can other elements that resonate with quartz. The challenge is, they may be much farther away. Your new signal has to travel. This is the waiting period. It's the time it takes for your new truth to ripple out through the vast, interconnected network of everything and find a matching resonance. You have to learn to trust that the signal is being sent, even with no evidence of it being received. The first signs are almost never a new person walking into your life. They are subtler. It's a song on the radio with lyrics that speak directly to your soul. It's finding a book in a dusty shop that feels like it was written just for you. It's an overwhelming feeling of peace on a random Tuesday afternoon. These are the first return signals from the new network. They are reality's way of saying, "We hear you. We are tuning to your new frequency. Stand by." This is where the final and most profound choice of the transformation journey lies. What if, after all this work, after all this waiting, the ships are slow to appear on the horizon? What if the new connections don't arrive on your timeline? Here, you face a choice. Do you remain a lonely ship, searching the seas for another vessel? Or do you decide to become a lighthouse? A ship is defined by its journey and its destination. A lighthouse has no destination. Its purpose is to be exactly where it is. It doesn't sail around looking for ships to save. It doesn't get lonely. It doesn't question its purpose on nights when the sea is empty. It simply stands on its rock, holds its ground, and shines. To choose to be a lighthouse is the final step in releasing the need for external validation. It's the realization that the purpose of your light is not to be seen, but simply to shine. It is the quiet confidence in your own truth, your own being, regardless of who recognizes it. The courage is no longer in finding others, but in being willing to be the sole, unwavering point of light in your own corner of the universe, trusting that this is enough. It is the understanding that your transformation was never about building a better social life. It was about building a better you. And a lighthouse, secure on its foundation, radiating its light into the darkness, is a complete and whole reality unto itself. Paradoxically, this is the most magnetic state of being. A lighthouse that is content to simply shine becomes a beacon for every lost ship on the sea. They don't come because you called them. They come because you were a light in their darkness. The loneliness you feared was the very thing that forged you into the beacon you were always meant to be. The emptiness becomes your foundation. The silence becomes your strength, and the light becomes your nature. You don't overcome the loneliness. You transform it. It becomes a source of immense power, a quiet, solid presence that needs nothing from the outside world to be complete. You walk your path not in search of company, but as a landmark for others who are also learning to navigate their own journey home. If this video changed something in you, write in the comments, "I walk my path." Write it as your promise. Nobody